We're working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Judith Timera, delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region on today's headlines. The third Filipino who tested positive for coronavirus disease 2019 is currently confined in a hospital and is undergoing tests, the Department of Foreign Affairs or TFA said on Thursday. Indonesia says it has detained dozens of crew from Vietnamese boats fishing illegally in waters that were seen of a diplomatic spat with China earlier this year. And Def Jam, the label behind superstars from LL Cool J to Jay-Z and Rihanna, is snapping up rap stars from the untapped Southeast Asian market where streaming platforms are flourishing. The third Filipino who tested positive for coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 is currently confined in a hospital and is undergoing tests, the Department of Foreign Affairs or TFA said on Thursday. The new COVID-19 patient is said to be asymptomatic, brings to 3 the total number of Filipino who contracted the disease after the first one was confirmed last month. According to the agency, the other 2 Filipinos have now recovered and are expected to be discharged soon. It should be noted that all 3 Filipinos reportedly contracted the virus from their employers. At present, the consulate continues to closely monitor the condition of all Filipino nationals in Hong Kong and render assistance as needed. Meanwhile, a Taiwanese national with travel history in the Philippines tested positive for the coronavirus disease 2019. The Taiwan Centers for Disease Control or the CDC confirmed on Thursday. The said COVID-19 patient is the 44th case in Taiwan, an over 30-year-old male who resides in northern Taiwan. He traveled to the Philippines with his friends from February 28 to March 3. He had diarrhea in the Philippines on March 2 after he returned to Taiwan. Case number 44 went to a clinic due to having a dry throat and tiredness on March 3. He went to a hospital and was reported as a suspected case on March 4, the Taiwan CDC said. Taiwan confirmed that the patient contracted the disease on March 5, citing a related investigation that suggests it is an imported case linked to the Philippines. As of posting, the Philippine government has yet to confirm the said information. There are more than 40 laboratory-confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Taiwan, while there are 3 in the Philippines. The 44-year-old Chinese national who died on February 1st, the 38-year-old Chinese woman, and the 60-year-old Chinese woman who returned to China on January 31st. The latest data from the World Health Organization shows that there are 80,422 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in China and 12,668 cases outside China. In other news, the Pasay City Prosecutor's Office ordered the filing of criminal charges against one of the individuals identified by Senator Richard Gordon in an ongoing Senate inquiry into the unregulated transport of dirty money in and out of the country. In a resolution dated February 24th, released on Thursday, City Prosecutor Elmer Cres Aurelio approved Senior Assistant City Prosecutor Juhari Tolentino's recommendation to charge Simon John Rodriguez for having failed to declare $700,000 or around 35.4 million pesos in cash, which he tried to bring into the Philippines upon his arrival from Singapore last year. Rodriguez is facing charges for violation of banking regulations, particularly Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or BSP Circular Number 308, which requires any person who brings into or out of the Philippines a foreign currency in excess of $10,000 or its equivalent to declare the same in writing and to furnish information on the source and purpose of the transport of such currency. Violation of the circular is penalized with fines of between 50,000 pesos to 200,000 pesos and/or imprisonment of 2 to 10 years under Section 36 of Republic Act 7653 or the new Central Bank Act. The charges stemmed from the inquest proceedings against Rodriguez upon the complaint filed by the Customs Police District, Enforcement and Security Service of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport or the NAIA District Office, through its terminal supervisor Tomas Maranan, who intercepted Rodriguez at the exit gate of the arrival area of Terminal 2 at around 2:20 p.m. on September 26, 2019. The prosecutors noted that the CCTV footage showed that Rodriguez directly proceeded to the exit gate of the airport terminal when past the Customs Foreign Currency Declaration Test, Customs Examination Area, and the Customs X-ray Area. Malaysia's anti-corruption chief, who had been investigating scandal-hit State Fund 1MDB, said Friday she had resigned after a reformist government collapsed and a Grab-tainted party took power. The Pact of Alliance Hope, or the Pact of Hope Alliance rather, which stormed to a historic victory in 2018 and ousted a long-ruling coalition, fell apart amid infighting last week and Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad resigned. Mahathir, 94, then sought to return as premier but unexpectedly lost to ex-Interior Minister Muhyiddin Yassin, who heads a coalition dominated by the multi-ethnic country's Malay Muslim majority. Latifa Koya, a leading human rights activist who had been head of the Anti-Corruption Commission since June, said that she had informed Muhyiddin she was quitting earlier this week but insisted she was not pressured. In a statement, she said she also briefed the Prime Minister about their ongoing actions and efforts for the recovery of the stolen 1MDB monies from abroad.
When visiting the Philippines, Manila or Quezon City is a popular destination. But oftentimes the hustle and bustle of the city can be more stressful on your vacation. So when you feel the need to reconnect to nature or relax again, there's a beautiful oasis just outside of the city called the Garden at Ciudad de Victoria. That you can see here include hydrangea, snapdragon, and stargazers. They're truly beautiful. The gardens at Ciudad de Victoria are so peaceful, tranquil, and beautiful that it's become a haven for young couples and a very popular venue for engagement photos. The next time you want an escape from the big city, the garden at Ciudad de Victoria is a wonderful place to visit.
Welcome back. President Rodrigo Duterte will most likely visit the Philippine National Police or PNP Chief General Archie Gamboa and others who are recuperating in a hospital after figuring in a helicopter crash on Thursday morning. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said he did not know when Duterte would visit, but assumed that it would be after Gamboa has had enough rest. Panelo said the palace was shocked to hear the news about the helicopter accident, but was also glad that Gamboa and some of his companions only sustained minor injuries. The PNP Public Information Office said Gamboa and his 7 companions were on board a police chopper after inspecting the impounding area of the Highway Patrol Group or the HPG when it crashed in San Pedro, Laguna. Also on board the helicopter that was heading for Camp Vicente Lim in Calamba were PNP spokesperson Brigadier General Bernard Banac, Director for Comptrollership Major General Jovic Ramos, and Director for Intelligence Major General Mariel Magaway, among others. Gamboa and 5 other injured police officials are recuperating at St. Luke's Medical Center in Taguig City. Gamboa, in a separate interview, said he will return to work on Monday and urged the public to refrain from spreading videos and photos of the incident.
Sa ating mga kababayan at lalo na sa ating mga kapulisan. Ako lumabas ngayon dito para ipakita sa inyong okay ako, hindi naman ako nasaktan. And as a matter of fact, I'm going back to office on Monday. Yung mga kinakalat na iba't ibang mga pictures, nakikiusap ako na wag na nating ilabas. Kasi nakita nyo naman, tulungan nyo na lang kami. At huwag nating kalimutan ang pagpunta ko doon sa kung saan nilagay yung mga sasakyan, may rason. No? At kasama talaga yun sa aking biyahe papuntang Calabarzon. Again, to give warning to everyone that no matter what, the Philippine National Police would always enforce the law, no matter what it takes. Magandang gabi po.
In other news, Indonesia says it has detained dozens of crew from Vietnamese boats fishing illegally in waters that were the scene of a diplomatic spat with China earlier this year. The Maritime Ministry said 5 fishing boats and some 68 crew members were seized after being intercepted on Sunday near the Indonesia's Natuna Islands, which border the South China Sea, most of which is claimed by Beijing. Last year, Indonesia accused the Vietnamese Coast Guard of ramming one of its vessels to stop the interception of a boat fishing illegally. Indonesia, the world's biggest archipelago nation, has been trying to stop foreign vessels fishing in its territory, saying it's cost Southeast Asia's economy billions of dollars annually. Jakarta claims the area in the most southernmost reaches of South China Sea as its exclusive economic zone. In January, Indonesia deployed fighter jets and warships to patrol the Natuna Islands in a spat with Beijing over Chinese vessels entering the area. China claims most of the South China Sea despite competing claims from other Southeast Asian nations, including Vietnam, the Philippines, and Malaysia. Meanwhile, the Philippine Overseas Employment, or the POEA, has directed all licensed recruitment agencies in the country to look after the health conditions of their deployed workers to China's Special Administrative Regions, or SARS, Hong Kong, and Macau. Amid the threat of coronavirus disease 2019, prior to deployment, Philippine recruitment agencies, or PRAs, shall provide advice to OFWs bound for the aforementioned job sites to strictly follow the health protocols and precautionary health measures threat. The agency said in a Memorandum Circular Number 4 signed by POEA Administrator Bernard Olalia issued on Thursday. As for the monitoring of the deployed OFWs, the POEA directed PRAs to strictly monitor the conditions of their deployed OFWs and should establish accessible lines of communication for reports on emergency cases. As such, a monitoring system should be generated by each deploying PRA to take into consideration the seriousness of the disease and the OFW's immediate need for medical assistance. The order added that cases of symptomatic or infected OFWs should be reported by the PRA within 3 days to the respective authorities and Philippine Overseas Labor Office or POLO, Philippine Embassy or Consular Office of Jurisdiction for prompt medical attention, copy furnished the Philippine Overseas Employment or the POEA. Companies that will fail to comply with the memorandum will face appropriate sanctions. It also added that PRAs in violation of this memorandum shall be held liable for violation of reportorial requirements under the POEA rules and regulations governing the recruitment and employment of land-based overseas Filipino workers of 2016, as well as appropriate corresponding disciplinary action.
We are living during the most extraordinary time in human history.
All transport will go fully electric.
Es wird eine völlig neue Mobilität geben, meine Damen und Herren.
Rev, the new auto show on DW. Getting you into gear on cutting-edge developments.
Wasserstofferzeugung braucht Energie.
We focus on green technology.
Das Auto ist im Betrieb absolut emissionsfrei.
And also feature head-to-heads. And the latest launches.
Das Fahrgefühl war gut, er lässt sich sehr gut fahren, er liegt sehr gut auf der Straße.
And mobility stories from around the world.
Mercedes depuis 2005.
Def Jam, the label behind superstars from LL Cool J to Jay-Z and Rihanna, is snapping up rap stars from the untapped Southeast Asian market where streaming platforms are flourishing. Take a look.
You're looking at me like a come up. You think I'm sexy cause I got my ones up. You want what? You want love? You want girl? Oh baby, you. These lanes is phony, full of baloney, Tony Soprano, fat, my pockets be homie, you know, never bum me, but about that change.
Even though Def Jam is a legendary hip-hop label around the world, but coming to China is going to be like kind of like a startup, you know, my thing is I always wanted to like help push the culture as well.
Ain't coming solo, brought a couple mommies, now they going desperado for the dollar. Melo, follow with the polo, but don't get it. They don't like it that I got this IV, cut the vegetarian boy to an IV. Wonder when the mother that need, bad look. Increase 2 decibels on the hi-hats. Thing is the head.
I think we are at one of the greatest times for hip-hop in Southeast Asia and especially Asia. It's like just exploding, you know?
And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Judith Yamera, and I'm 1 with 25.